You ready to punch the screen? You ready to yell at somebody? Give them a middle finger? Are you ready to snap? I am. Because it turns out, remember everyone's favorite South Dakota governor? That's right, Kristi Noem. Well, she showed up on Sean Hannity's show to defend her actions of when she took out Cricket. That's right. This big brain genius decided to once again speak. Now, look, Kristi Noem, I'm not going to tell you what to do. Hell, you are the governor of South Dakota, right? But what the hell were you thinking writing that passage saying you shot that dog that was 14 months old? I mean, no matter how you write it or word it, it doesn't look good. That was a dumb thing to write. You don't share that with people because there's a lot of dog lovers in this country. And when people see that, when people hear that, they get angry. And of course, they're going to get upset. And then the memes will start to flow, especially with a certain character name, first name John, last name Wick. But hey, here she is on Sean Hannity's show, defending her actions. Please don't punch your screen. Please don't throw your laptop or cell phone out the window. Bear with me, 1 minute, 30 seconds.
And I'm a dog lover. I've trained dogs for years.
That's a lie.
And I'm a dog lover. I've trained dogs for years. I've been around hundreds of them, of course. And so this was a tough situation and very difficult. But that's what happens in rural America many times. And, you know, I hope people do read the facts of the story and truly understand that I'm a mom. And at the time I had...
Oh, God. She's a mom. The kid asking, hey, where's Cricket at? Cricket's in the gravel. My God. Cricket, rest in peace, buddy.
Small children, a lot of small kiddos that worked around our business and people, and I wanted to make sure that they were safe and that dogs that have this kind of a problem, that have been to training for months and still kill for fun, they are extremely dangerous, and a responsible owner does what they need to do and what the law will allow.
Yeah. But dumbass, okay? Dummy. Here's what you did. You wrote in your book saying how you shot that dog, okay? Now, what madness possessed you to tell that story and thinking that the American people weren't going to notice it? I don't know. But there were many other ways in which to handle this. And here, watch Sean Hannity somewhat try and defend her just a little bit here.
A dog trainer friend of mine actually describes every dog as a baby wolf. And they have a pack mentality. And once they get aggressive, it's very difficult to alter and change that behavior.
Ever hear the show called The Dog Whisperer? Right? Sean, there's a show called Dog Whisperer where dogs will go back in line.
Wolf. And they have a pack mentality. And once they get aggressive, it's very difficult to alter and change that behavior. Look at the case of Joe Biden. Initially, we had heard, okay, maybe one Secret Service agent, maybe 3. And then at one point we read 24. In that particular case, if somebody is biting people in large numbers like that, wouldn't it, it's a sad thing to do, but at some point, doesn't it become the responsible thing?
So what? Hold on. Notice how they brought up Joe Biden. So what? You're saying that Joe Biden should be given the old Yeller treatment? Cool Blue 71 writes, a serious VP candidate doesn't pull a Noem. Ooh. Natalie Williams, someone didn't train her right. No, they did not. And Great Baton, shut up, Sean. Good God. Oh, absolutely. She shot her dog, man.
In large numbers like that, wouldn't it, it's a sad thing to do, but at some point, doesn't it become the responsible thing for the safety of others that you don't allow a dog at least around anybody else at the very least?
Well, and that was our situation, was this dog had come to us from another family that had already found her to be too aggressive.
You know something? Justice for Cricket. From the window to the wall, justice for Cricket. Here's an article from The Guardian. Kristi Noem calls dog shooting report fake news, but insists on need to kill animal. Why? Kristi Noem, the governor of South Dakota, whose chance of being Donald Trump's presidential running mate was widely deemed over after she published a description of shooting dead a dog and a goat. Claimed reports of the story were fake news, but also that the dog in question, Cricket, a 14-month-old Wiehard pointer, I hope I said that right, was extremely dangerous and deserved her fate. No. If Dog Whisperer showed me anything, it's like sometimes a mean dog is just a good dog just wanting to come out. Did you ever think about that? You know how the fake news works. Well, first of all, you wrote that, lady. Fake news. You made the news. Goof troop. Stupid people, man. Noem told Fox News they leave out most of the facts of a story. They put the worst spin on it, and that's what happened in this case. You shot a dog, 14 months old. I hope people really do buy this book. No, they will not. And they find out the truth of the story, because the truth of the story is that this was a working dog and it was not a puppy. It was a dog that was extremely dangerous. Cool Blue 71. Does this mean Republicans now support euthanasia? I don't know. And to quote that line from The Fugitive, I don't care. What I do care about, what I am upset about, is that she decided to write a book. And what is up with politicians writing books? You're not Julius Caesar. You're not Alexander the Great. I mean, most of you politicians are owned by lobby groups already. I don't want to hear about your wild nights and Sex in the City, how you're bending over backwards, getting that lobby money up your wazoo. None of you are great philosophers or leaders of our time. Most of you politicians are mediocre. Tucker Carlson's right. Most of you guys in Washington, D.C., most of you high echelon politicians are alcoholics or people who need substances to keep them focused. You guys are not all that. All these politicians writing books. I'm going to write a book. I'm going to write a book now. The Kit Cabello story. I am always correct. And the front cover will be me smoking a pipe with a nuclear bomb going off in the background. I am always correct. A Kit Cabello story of struggle and survival. First sentence is going to be, so you bought this book. It's the best decision you've ever made. Anyways, The Guardian first reported Noem's story of killing Cricket the dog and an unnamed, uncastrated male goat. The story is contained in Noem's book, No Going Back, the truth on what's wrong with politics and how we move America forward. Too long of a title. Just call it No Going Back, which will be published next week. The Guardian obtained a copy. In the book, Noem says her description of killing a dog and a goat illustrates her willingness to do anything difficult, messy, and ugly in politics. Oh, Jesus Christ, ladies. Game of Thrones much? As well as her South Dakota farm, a defense she repeated before her Fox News interview. Noem says Cricket ruined a pheasant hunt, then killed a neighbor's chicken, all while presenting a picture of pure joy. I hated that dog. John Wick's got some words for you. John Wick's got some words for you, lady. I hated that dog. Sounds like you just hated the dog, Noem writes, adding that Cricket tried to bite her and proved herself untrainable, dangerous to anyone she came in contact with, and less than worthless as a hunting dog. Ah! What the hell? At that moment, Noem says, I realized I had to put her down. Noem describes killing Cricket in a gravel pit and then deciding to do the same to a goat because it was nasty and mean, smelled disgustingly musky and rancid, and loved to chase Noem's children, knocking them down and spoiling their clothes. Well, that's what a big animal does. Second of all, it was uncastrated, so of course it's going to smell. Hey, listen, ladies, us males got to have our musk. Okay? That was his perfume. How dare you say he smelled? R.I.P. to the goat. It took 2 shots. separated by a walk back to her truck to fetch more shotgun shells to kill the goat. Oh, God. Speaking to Fox News, Noem did not mention the goat. Of Cricket the dog, she said, it had come to us from a family who had found her way too aggressive. We were her second chance, and the day she was put down was a day that she massacred livestock that were part of our neighbors. She attacked me, and it was a hard decision. Well, first of all, maybe that dog needed some therapy or further training because maybe its first owners were abusive. Did you ever think about that, Governor Noem? Seriously, did you ever think about that? That maybe those people were hurting the dog? Because there are sociopathic people out there. There are evil, mean people that like to hurt animals. Okay? And the fact that you didn't even consider that tells me a lot about who you are and how you're not going to look into anything. By the way, I want to give a shout out to Cool Blue 71. Was Governor Noem's puppy named Cujo? R.I.P. to Cujo. Cujo was a victim. Okay? There we go. Repeating her claim that the story illustrated her willingness to make tough decisions, Noem claimed to have done the same through the COVID pandemic by keeping my state open, a stance she said invited media attacks. Oh, don't turn yourself into a martyr. Anyways, this article starts talking about the pandemic. Here's where Sean Hannity comes in to save the day. Noem's Fox News host Sean Hannity tried to compare the governor's decision to shoot Cricket with the case of the commander, a German Shepherd owned by Joe Biden, who was sent away from the White House, not shot after being found to have been involved in more than 20 incidents of biting. Hannity then asked, "You say here you said you followed the law in your book. What is the law?" Noem said, "Virtually every state has a law in place that says that the animals that attack and kill livestock can't be put down in situations like this." A Guardian review of South Dakota state law found that Noem could have committed a misdemeanor, both by failing to control Cricket when she attacked and killed a neighbor's chickens and by killing the dog later on her own property. A spokesperson for Noem did not respond to a request for comment on that point. Noem continued, "Farmers and ranchers, they expect it. They know that once an animal like this starts killing just because they enjoy it, that is a very dangerous animal." And that was the situation that we were dealing with. And I'm a dog lover. No, you're not. I've trained dog for years. Oh, good Lord. I've been around hundreds of them, of course. How many are in the gravel pit? And so this was a tough situation and very difficult. But that's what happens in rural America many times. Noem also discussed a recent decision on her farm to put down 3 elderly horses. Oh, Lucy, Dunny, and Tibbs, sharing pictures of the process, including a horse standing in a freshly dug pit. Man. Hey, Lucy, get in the pit. Why? Why do I need to get in the pit? Get in the pit, Lucy. Get in the pit. I'm just going to read the read this last paragraph right here. I just can't. This woman is just unbearable. On the page, Noem's story of the day she shot Cricket the dog and the unnamed goat, titled "Bad Day to Be a Goat," features the arrival of a school bus and the emergence of her daughter Kennedy, who, by the governor's own accounting, would have been about 7 years old. Kennedy looked around confused, Noem writes, and asked, "Hey, where's Cricket?" And she wants to be vice president? Hey, Trump, do this country a favor. Do not pick that woman. Because if something happens to you, she will push that red button that says nuke on it, okay? For God's sakes, Trump, don't do it. We can all find some love here. Lawmakers announced dog lovers caucus in wake of Noem's news. So, all right, hey, we got a couple of Democrats and Republicans. Bipartisan lawmakers on Tuesday announced the start of a dog lovers caucus on Capitol Hill. On the one hand, I find this funny. On the other hand, you fucking assholes in Congress. Yes, okay, great that you love dogs, but the American people are starving. Is there going to be a caucus to ensure that Americans can get affordable homes, increase wages, that kind of stuff, Medicare for all? But okay, whatever. In light of recent events, we're launching the Congressional Dog Lovers Caucus today, said Representative Jared Moskowitz. said in a post on the social media platform X, formerly known as Twitter. This group, dedicated to man's best friend, aims to foster bipartisan cooperation and will help put pause over politics. We're not in the worst timeline. We're not. We're really not. We're in the most disappointing timeline. Everything's going to be just disappointing, okay? Everything. We are in the most disappointing timeline ever. It's not the worst. It's not the worst. It's not the most horrific. It's not the most brutal. We're in the most disappointing. While Congress might disagree on everything, we can all agree that dogs are beloved companions, bring us all so much joy. May said in a press release obtained by The Hill. We started this caucus to champion legislation that protects the rights and well-beings of dogs, ensuring they receive the care, respect, and recognition they deserve. What about their owners? Because if their owners can't take care of themselves, they can't take care of those dogs, okay? I'm just throwing it out there, Congress. Just throwing it out there. Anyways. How do we end this segment? I thought of one way to end this segment. Give it up once again, returning back to our show. Hard Lens Media's #1 dog fan, Toby and his human. There you go, man. Shout out to Toby. Rest in peace, Cricket. You'll be missed. Hashtag justice for Cricket. Peace for Cricket. Cricket deserved better. There you go. Shout out to all you beautiful people. Give it up for our #1 doggo. Give it up for Toby. There you go, buddy. There you go. And his human, who says he ain't afraid of no ghost. We live in a clown world, folks. Clown world where we got people like this, these inhuman monsters, running and holding positions of power. Who told you that was a good idea to write that part in the book saying how you shot a dog? It was a recipe for a complete disaster, you freaking moron.